North Korea has announced the launch of a new, possibly nuclear-capable missile. Here's what you need to know. North Korea has successfully tested a new long-range ground-launched cruise missile, which may be its first of this kind to have nuclear capabilities, according to the country's state media outlet KCNA, cited by The Drive. Described as a strategic weapon of great significance, the use of the word strategic is often interpreted as a euphemism for nuclear capabilities, according to a senior fellow at the US-based Carnegie Endowment for International Peace who spoke to Reuters. The missile flew 930 miles or 1,500 kilometers with a flying time of 126 minutes, according to the KCNA. However, it flew in oval and figure-of-8 flight orbits, so it actually came down inside North Korean territorial waters. The Drive notes that in any conflict scenario, cruise missiles could be used to saturate an enemy's defenses, with large numbers attacking from different directions and their flatter trajectories making them hard to pick up. It remains unclear if North Korea can build nuclear warheads small enough to be harnessed on a cruise missile, but Reuters reports that leader Kim Jong-un said developing smaller bombs is a top goal earlier this year. Cruise missiles like this one are not subject to UN sanctions and are, according to Reuters, less provocative than the ballistic missiles North Korea has tested in the past, including last year's monster new nuke. North Korea unveiled that intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, in a military parade to mark the 75th anniversary of North Korea's ruling Workers' Party at the stroke of midnight on October 10th, according to North Korea analyst 38 North. The Hwasong-16 is estimated to be 25 meters to 26 meters in length and 2.5 to 2.9 meters in diameter, 4 to 4.5 meters longer, and about half a meter wider in diameter than the Hwasong-15 ICBM, which was flight tested only once in November of 2017. The Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington estimated the range of Hwasong-15 at 8,500 to 13,000 kilometers. Experts believe the Hwasong-16 has a similar range, meaning it could hit anywhere in the continental United States. However, the new two-stage liquid-fueled ICBM is assumed to have a larger strategic payload. The Hwasong-15 is thought to be configured with a single warhead. Experts speculate that the Hwasong-16 could carry as many as 4 warheads, which would greatly increase the burden on U.S. missile defense systems. The Drive reasons that the announcement of the latest missile tests could have been timed to coincide with a meeting in Tokyo between officials from the U.S., South Korea, and Japan discussing stalled talks with North Korea over U.S. sanctions and nuclear concessions. However, they could also have been scheduled in response to joint U.S. and South Korean exercises last month. At the time, Kim Yong-jong, Deputy Department Director of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, said the U.S. and South Korea started joint military exercises, further aggravating the unstable situation in the region. He added that the prevailing situation proves once again that we were quite just when we decided to steadily build up the capabilities for national defense, and said that for peace to settle on the peninsula, it is imperative for the U.S. to withdraw its aggression troops and war hardware deployed in South Korea. There is then very little sign of de-escalation between North Korea, its neighbors, and the U.S. anytime soon. And the Drive expands on that point, noting that since the nuclear talks broke down, North Korea's nuclear weapons development has also taken in submarine-launched ballistic missile designs. In 2019, North Korea's state-run Korean Central News Agency shared photos of leader Kim Jong-un inspecting a brand-new submarine for the country's military. The diesel-electric submarine seemed to be a modified version of the Soviet-era Romeo-class submarine, according to the Washington Examiner. And according to defense analyst H.I. Sutton's website, the vessel may be able to carry 2 to 3 ballistic missiles, such as the Pukgoksong-1, in its expanded sail. The nuclear missile has a range of around 745 miles or 1,200 kilometers, according to The Drive. It was designed to be deployed soon in the Sea of Japan, according to the Korean Central News Agency. Citing analysts, Reuters reported that similarly to the new ballistic missile, that vessel was used to send a clear message to Washington to take North Korea seriously. Joel Witt, founder of 38 North, a Washington-based think tank that analyzes North Korea, told Reuters that North Koreans have historically displayed weapon developments to bolster deterrence and demonstrate that they will not be intimidated by the U.S. Al Jazeera reports on the human cost of this back and forth. It says that among the United Nations Security Council sanctions, closure of its border with China due to COVID-19, and a 2020 drought followed by typhoon rains, extreme food shortages have developed in North Korea. There are now growing concerns about widespread malnutrition in the country and a potential repeat of its 1990s famine. Satellite images suggest North Korea is using an undeclared facility to make or store nuclear weapons, CNN reports, citing images obtained by the channel. The site has been linked previously to North Korea's nuclear program. According to CNN, the campus features a security perimeter, multiple buildings for on-site housing, and suspected underground facility entrances that are the hallmarks of a North Korean nuclear facility, citing experts at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies. The images show significant vehicle traffic, with cars, trucks, and parked cargo containers seen on the premises, which suggests the site has been active continuously during and after the U.S.-North Korea negotiations. Writing in a blog, the Institute's Jeffrey Lewis notes that the full extent of the underground facility remains unknown, but it may be utilized for warhead storage as well as weapons manufacture. If you haven't heard, North Korea is famous for its patronage of the arts, impressive public monuments that are not shoddily built at all, and peace-loving diplomacy.
Safety concerns have been raised over North Korea's aggressive missile testing program after the most recent launch came dangerously close to a passenger plane. On July 28th, an Air France flight to Paris took off from Tokyo, carrying more than 300 passengers. 45 minutes later, North Korea test-launched an intercontinental ballistic missile from Chagang province. The missile climbed more than 2,000 miles before returning back to Earth. It landed in the Sea of Japan just 5 to 10 minutes after the Air France flight passed through the same area. In response to the incident, Air France put out a statement claiming North Korean test zones don't interfere with their flight paths, adding that they analyze potentially dangerous flyover zones. But experts say global aviation systems may not be able to even detect a missile in a plane's flight path, let alone warn airlines about it. Adjusting commercial flight paths may be one way of addressing the North Korean safety risk, but it will be both expensive and difficult.
For more news animations and explainers, hit the subscribe and bell button to join the TomoNews family. Thanks for watching.